What's up, Rubits? Little big robots back with another video. Today, I thought it'd be fun. Oh, before we start, if you're watching this right now, right down here in the corner will be my little insignia, or somewhere on this page or on the TV or whatever. Hit the little thing and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 4,000 by this year. Why? I'm not 100% sure, because YouTube and Google pay me about $30 a month as it is now. But that buys me a toy. The more subscribers, the more maybe I'll get and get to be able to afford more stuff. But anyway, I thought it'd be cool today to talk about these. This is my small but humble, small and with aspirations collection of 1/25th scale JoyToy Mechs. If you don't know what that means there's 1/25th the size of the actual Mechs. They come with pilots. I don't have the pilots here because it's not about them tonight. It's all about the beauty Mechs. Look how pretty they are. Isn't that cool? And these are the more common scale you see for JoyToys 1/18. People tend to like 1/18 a bit better because it's more detailed. It's larger, but it's more expensive. These guys you can find as low as $50 up to $120 for this big guy that I have taken apart. So if you want to see my other reviews of all these, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I thought I had 10, but I guess 9. Excuse me. Just go to my channel and search for JoyToy. I'll also link the playlist in the description. So the question is are JoyToy 1/25th scale Mechs, are they modular? What that means is that, for example, Zivaz. Let me think of some other modular toys. Some Gundam kits, for example. It's where they're designed to be able to take apart from one and snap it on the other. It means you can swap items in and out, etc., etc. These are not, by definition, modular, but I've always wanted to test the theory more. So I've not taken apart really, but I've removed what I can on some of my Mechs here. You can see there's an arm slot. You can actually see the slot in there. It's about that thick. There is a place where the legs go. If I wanted to, I believe that should even come out. The ball joint should be able to come out there. And then I'm left with essentially just the cockpit, right? Ouch, my finger, I cut myself all the time. Sorry about that. So you have the cockpit that opens like that. You can see the details of the cockpit. Some have, this one's really cool. It has a medic bag right now back there. Some have more complicated cockpits. Some have more simple ones. I tend to like the simple ones just because they're going to be hardier probably in the long run. But I don't like them quite as simple as these guys, and I'll look at that in a minute. This is probably my favorite here, the cockpit opening. I've showed this before, but it looks kind of like not only does it look kind of like a dragon, but it has, this was a bit more of a premium one. It's around 120, I think. Has a bit more oomph to it, you see what I'm saying? But this is still the same scale. So the question is can I mix and match these parts? The answer is kind of, sort of. They're essentially here kind of broken up into some main. These are your standard 1/25ths, which are all based on a certain, like they'll be based on the same base model, if that makes sense, the same skeletal frame and stuff. And those typically tend to be pretty hot swappable. These four here, even some of this big red guy. Then you've got these guys up here, which were really designed to be able to be played with a 1/25th scale person, meaning the size that normally goes with this, or 1/18, so a little bit larger of a pilot. I'll cover all that in my review. If you see in there, there's a hole, a little peg. A seat actually goes in there, so if you want a larger figure in there, you could take the seat out and you can put whatever figure you want to fit in here. I think I've even fit a pretty large figure in here. As you can see, it kind of looks like a human-sized. Or if you want to put the 1/25th, you put the seat in there and it mounts in there. So this kind is the, I forget what they're called. I forget what they're absolutely called. But these four here are kind of the same critter base model. These four here are, and this one's kind of the same. Now, having said that, I have pulled off an interesting part like this, and I've taken one of the giant red guy's legs, which, just look at the detail on these things. This is about the perfect amount of weathering, chipping and stuff that I think if you're selling a toy, this is about the perfect amount. It's not an amazing amount, as you can see, but it's just enough to make it worthwhile. You know what I mean? And if you're doing your model kits and stuff like that, or if you're customizing, you don't have to do much more than this. You could put a little wash in there, but they did a little bit. But what I noticed is I think it was this one. Well, actually, you can actually mount the legs of this into this, technically. I put them backwards, but hey, let's just leave them backwards for now, just to show. So they should go right in that slot like they did before. Well, they did before. There you go. So I have successfully just, look at that. I can even maybe put it backwards. You know, so I have just successfully placed those red, giant, beautiful legs from that other one into, now granted I got them backwards, but I still think they kind of look cool like that. Like that's the kneecap. I have placed it onto a different model. Here's the waist area where the legs would normally go. So you could put, I wanted to show you this as well. This is a pile, absolute pile I have of, ouch, I had a splinter in my hand. Had an absolute pile of extra bits. So these blades go on this black flying guy here. Of course, I got 14 tons of amazing looking guns. I don't use the guns really. The hammer I liked a lot, but it's a little bit floppy, but I like it a lot. You got more giant guns. So you could take something like a basic, let's try, let me see. Those are those leg type slots, aren't they? So they're slotted. I don't know if there's something that'll go in that little slot. So see, the problem here is that you have a gun like this that you could see mounting like that or something, or underneath like this. And it's got a slot like that, so it won't quite go in there. But you could see, you could probably find a little adapter or something. One thing that these come with too, which is really interesting, let me show you, is that they come with, each one of them will come with a whole bunch of, first you get the weapons for the pilot, but you also get like all these little bitty mounting parts and stuff. So I'm betting in there somewhere is a mount for like a slot that will also go to like a peg, if that makes sense. If not, you could easily, and I mean easily, manufacture one probably. So it's in there somewhere probably. If not, so you could see though already I'm already kind of creating something, if that makes sense. But as you can see, it's not perfect. So what we want to look for, and you have to be careful doing this, proceed with caution, because it's not guaranteed they're going to make it, and you don't want to break them. But again, it's pretty sturdy-ish. So let's say I take the legs from this sniper guy here. Here's this guy. So, oops, sorry. I've got wires and stuff everywhere. I wonder if, yeah, so that'll go just fine. Pretty darn tight too. So, but here's his original leg. So really not much different. But again, you know, there might be some differences in the ones you have that you want to use to make a completely unique looking thing. So I like that one. Then you've got, here's the arms with just no armor on them. So this is that same one. One of the only problems with the 1/25th scale is a lot of them have these kind of loose hand joints, but you can put a little rubber cement in there and get that a little tighter. You can have this big guy here. So let's take one of his arms. The arms come out relatively easy. My autofocus is working really hard right now. So here's this arm. So see already we're getting a pretty unique looking dude. And then since that is a, let's see here. These guys, I don't think their arms will work because they're on a round peg. Yeah, see, I don't know why they did this. Again, I think though they did the different pegs compared to like a regular arm. See how that one's a flat square and that one's a round peg? That they might have done that to keep that body style the same. And I think that this line here that is supposed to be used with 1/25th or 1/18 scale figures is kind of, I could be wrong, but is kind of what they're going for in the future. This will probably be where they lean a lot, because then you could sell one of these guys to not only a 1/25th collector, but also a 1/18 collector, if that makes sense. So unfortunately, you can't just take the round one and put it in there, but I guarantee you, you could either shave it what you want to do, but there's probably a mount somehow that you could make or use. So you would just fabricate the part for the connection. You wouldn't necessarily have to mess with the original arm, if that makes sense. So let's take, this guy is about as plain as it gets. I think this is one of my first ones I got. I can't remember. No, the sniper was. See how easily the arms come out for that, for the normal 1/25th scale. Now, as you can see though, it has this weird longer part, but let's put it in and see what it looks like. If I can. Kind of. So see, that one's not going in that easy. I don't know why. Let's try another. That's the sniper. Let's try his arm. Anyway, yeah, he'll have the sniper legs and one sniper arm. So you've got that look, right? You've got the bare midriff. You got, is that the right word, midriff? Would that be your midriff? You got this giant gun, which you could swap out for all sorts of stuff. And then what's cool is you have all these little armor parts as well. So these go to the basic green guy that I'm playing with, right? You've got like kneecaps, shin guards, all sorts of stuff. And some will fit. You just have to mess with it and see if they'll fit. See, I think that's designed just to go over that area there. So there you go. So I'm already kind of making it look more normal. The crotch area, let's try this. I think this will go here. Let's see. Maybe, maybe not. These legs might be too closed in. That'd be interesting look though, huh? Check that out. A little too close, but you know, you can kind of get an idea. So as you can see, it is sort of modular. It is sort of swappable, but not 100%. And it's kind of a shame. I don't know if that's something that in the future they'll want to try and play with more, because you could see people, if you have a modular system, people tend to want to do more customs with it and stuff, and so they might buy 2 or 3. This is the giant red guy who's one of my favorite. Probably, I think it was my #1 of 2022. Now this one's designed to actually become like a spaceship walker person. I can't remember. I think that only goes into the leg. Yeah, so it has this whole big. This is its waist area. See, like that. So I don't think these other regular legs will go in here. We can try. They do, but they're not, see, they're kind of loose, so they're not quite fitting in there. But again, if you really wanted to customize one, you could totally do that. You could even just use a little tack of glue that's not permanent, just maybe for a photography thing or something. And then if you had, see, here is the upper portion of the sniper. Sorry, I keep forgetting that it's supposed to be focusing there. Again, this mount does not fit in there. That part is too big because of that premium one, but you could see easily how you could start to get like a walker. Look at that. No arms, just like put 2 big guns on the side there. So it's a really, it is and is not swappable. I would say with a little work, it's very easy to get these to be swapped and stuff. What is it? I don't know. But the problem is these are not cheap. So if you're going to do this, don't do it with your most premium ones like this red one. Or if you do it, use adapters and stuff that go around or hold the arm in place. Don't try to adapt the original arm unless you're willing to go ahead and sacrifice. Like this guy, I liked this mech lock, but it's so plain. It's nothing, doesn't blow me away. It has a really simple opening here, nothing complicated at all. I could easily see that using that as a base for a custom. And these guys are the same thing. So these are all this same, as you can see, the same body type. I know it doesn't quite look like it, but you can see that they're the same. These you should easily be able to just pull off an arm like this. Well, there goes that piece of arm. Put his arm on this one. So it's not the level of detail you would get from like a Lego or something like that, but it's, you know, it's still, you're still changing the look a little bit. Where did his hand go? I just lost his hand. You know, it'd be really cool as the mount of forearm. That'd be fun. I wonder how you could do that. I'm sure there's some way to do that. So as you can see, these all parts work together as well. So one of the reasons I wanted to do this, one of the main reasons, was because these take up so much room. I am now, if you've seen my latest video, one of my latest videos, I basically have a 8-block shelf for display. So I'm literally cycling out each display box every few weeks or every week or something like that. So the ones I'm not currently displaying, I'm packing away. Helps them last a little longer as well. But so these guys will not be displayed all the time. So I need to, and when you break something down like this into their base parts, it's easier to store them and stuff. But you can see if I spent what, 50, 60 or something. So this is a few $100s for 9. If you use these as a base, you could create an incredible looking, if you used, maybe threw in some hexagear stuff, gunpla parts, whatever, you could really turn something out that was just amazing looking. So anyway, I thought you'd kind of like to see that. To answer the question, they're swappable-ish. With a little work, very easy to do. And if you ignore the different, leg types and stuff that won't necessarily mount together, like this one, you could probably easily get that part off. And in fact, I'm betting you could pull it right out. Is it a square or is it a round? So it's a round one, but you could find some way to mount that, even if you glued it into place, which I'm not saying to do. I don't start wrecking all your toys like that, but you could start to see a really cool look. So I'm going to take all these apart, put them in their basic parts, and then I love just sitting here and playing with modular toys and seeing what I come up with. Anyway, thought you'd like to take a look at that. Have a good one, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.